morning, everybody. I listen to this lady all the time, man, because she's just awesome, dude. Yeah, man. So, hey, let me pause this real quick. Good morning, everybody. Ain't no loser. Woo! Check. My little mini Ian Bick that I got in Connecticut. Not too bad. So what's up, everybody? I'm just going to assume, I'm not even going to check it. I'm just going to assume that you can see me. So hey, first and foremost, Ed Calderon and Eddie Dennis, nothing but class for you guys. I've got a package on its way over to you here Thursday. It's got to wait till Thursday till I can get it over. But they sent me these really nice stickers. As you guys saw, I can't wait to kit this thing up and go skate. And, you know, I've been doing this for about a year. No money involved whatsoever. I looked at this last night. I wasn't home when the package got here. I missed it by 15 minutes. But this is the famous Elvia knife. And I gotta say that I'm a big fan of that knife, dude. I was checking it out. Man. Ed and Eddie are not paying me a penny. In fact, I offered to buy this knife and they gave it to me out of goodwill, which just is even more class to them. I'm big on knives, dude. I got a few of them around. I've got other stuff around that I don't even put on camera. I've got some pepper spray here for some training I'm going to be doing on Thursday. About 10 minutes worth of hitting the dummy after being pepper sprayed and stuff to make sure that you stay resilient. You know, you don't want to be winded too soon. A lot of people talk all this crazy smack and they got no cardio. It's really a touching gift, gentlemen. Thank you so much. That's really cool of you. Para mi carnal de guerra, David. From my brother from war, my brother in arms, David. I feel the same way about you too, Ed. I just wanted to make sure you were who you said you were. And you know, that's going to kind of get into today's subject. You know, I showed you guys my Ian Bick deal. You know, this is just a great knife, man. And it locks in there, as you can hear. Really super cool. And it's autographed. And you know what? I'm big on knives. I would suggest, whoa, look at that. Copus Designs. I didn't even know there was stickers in there, man. Elvia. It's kind of dark in here in my studio, but it's right there. This thing's dope, man. Again, they're not paying me a penny. If I didn't like this knife, I wouldn't endorse it. But I mean, it's not, you know, you can use it different ways. I like ice pick grip myself personally, but really a cool knife, man. I started doing this video because Ed's accent just threw me off a little bit, man. I'm going to keep this thing in the box, man. I'm going to buy another one of these from you guys because I'm going to keep that one. That one's special. Oh, here's another knife. I've got a lot of them, dude. That wasn't even up there on purpose. Little dwarf things, 3D printing things. Elmo the elf, or the dwarf saying hello, giving you the one finger salute. I've been going down this thing because I didn't know what to think of Ed. with his lack of accent and stuff like that. And in the meantime, I've been on a lot of podcasts now, Glenn Beck, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I've got Andy Stumpf teaming up with Vincent Vargas over at Ironclad. And your boy stays busy a lot. I work. I'm always working in excess of 70 hours a week is a light week for me. Light. That's if I get a day off. I stay busy, man. You got to. My mom kicked me out when I was 16 years old, and I lived in the back of, or not in the back. I ate mustard sandwiches out of the back of my 1974 Firebird that I bought for $500 worth of crack cocaine off of a guy who was a basehead. Unfortunately, God rest his soul, he was run over by a bus in Hawaii. And it was eye-opening how cold it gets at 4 o'clock in the morning. My life has gone a certain way. But I learned early on that no one's going to take care of you. You gotta do your own thing. And so, you become savvy in that period of time. And you start questioning things. I questioned why Ed didn't have an accent, I finally got through to the Baja California Departamento de Recursos Humanos a la Policía Estatal Preventiva at the State Police in Baja California, their Human Resource Department. And I got to hit them up, and I got the answer I was looking for, man. Which wasn't any particular answer. It was just whatever the answer is, it is. But in the course of that, you run into things like Travis Haley wanting to respond to your email immediately if he thinks there's a sales contract, and his name I won't delete out of this because it's absolutely true, over at Haley Strategic or whatever it is, just asking a straight up question about whether or not he trained somebody. And you run into all these Navy SEALs and Green Berets. I've met Valhalla VFT right down here at Department of Homeland Security. Cool dude. We're about the same size. It was on his live video. In fact, those are his words. Cool dude, man. Don't have anything against him. But what I want to know is when you have someone that graduates school in 2021, your boy was busy hiring a private investigator in a couple different places yesterday outside of the U.S. to go digging into people's backgrounds on what they were doing there, because it's interesting to me. I'm going to stay out of the Sean Ryan, Dan Crenshaw rift. Even the Charlie Kirk shooting, huge news a few weeks ago. Today, you don't hear anything about it. People's attention spans are about that big. Mine's not, though. I'm like a blue tick hound, man. I just sit there and I'm going to stay on that trail until I get to where I want to go. So, it's curious to me how it is Andy Stumpf, is he still there? How Andy Stumpf goes off, is America ready for World War III against China and Russia? But usually he's doing Ironclad with Vincent Vargas, telling you what the drug war is like. And it makes me feel like maybe I should be doing Navy SEAL and Green Beret videos, or whatever Vince Vargas was. Because I call all these guys and they don't want any first-hand account. They want to take someone that graduated school in 2021, went to Vancouver City News, spent her time there, maybe a year, 2022, goes to Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, which is the CNN of Canada. Can respect, man. In Edmonton, not a big province or whatever. But it's Edmonton, it's something. Stays there for a year and then bails to go risk everything to become a freelance journalist in a country where she has no stake in it at all. If she's there on a work visa, and I'm talking about the famous Katarina Szulc, who's now been on Sean Ryan and all these things, you start digging into things and you just start seeing the connections between people. Cash Patel and everybody else, and Google keeps calling me, wanting me to do something with him. Cash Patel being the boyfriend of Marissa Streit, who is the CEO of Prager University, who is ex-Israeli army intelligence. I mean, what could go wrong with that? A foreign intelligence operative being the romantic interest, the head of the FBI, which is the domestic intelligence agency in the United States. You start looking at how these things are all put together and how Andy Stump and Vincent Vargas are connected to all these different people. They're all connected to each other through different people. To Sean Ryan, etc., etc., etc. And I showed you this picture right here. I'm going to show you again because I want you to see it. There was a lady, a Filipino lady, working for the Australian Broadcasting Corporation that did a story where she's actually in Mexico running around in a Mexican municipal police truck on patrol. And then there's this guy. And so I'm just going to rewind this just a little bit because I want you to see what it is. Reggie Yates.
That's exactly
in the Mexican drug war.
I'm joining the Mexican army to fight on the front line of the war on drugs.
There's no faking that, dude. That's not in Australia. They're in Mexico. And it's legit. And I'm saying something because I don't really care. I mean, I do care that you're morally good people. That I care about. But whatever your political leaning is, it's none of my business. And I'm never going to tell you what to think. I'm just going to say that when you have all these grifters, and Andy Stump, Vincent Vargas, all of these people are grifters, because when an Anglophone, which I am, and an American, which I am, goes to Mexico and involves himself in the Mexican drug war with first-hand account information in what is arguably the most violent zone of the entire country, not just my words, Ed's, and I'm met with just complete silence, I have to ask why it is a Navy SEAL and a Green Beret guy contract with an unemployed Canadian journalist who just left a job at CNN to go take a risk as a freelance reporter in Mexico who has her stories backed up by hair salon people that are on her videos with her down there corroborating what she says, as though she's some type of definitive authority sitting in a hair salon. You know, it's all up there. And then when you reach out to these people, you're just met with complete silence. And that's when I knew something was up. It's not that I have something incredible to say. I mean, I definitely have my own version of the events, and I'm still in contact with my coworkers down there right now. My point is everything that they put out is theatrical, not corroborated or substantiated in any meaningful way, whereas this gentleman right here is with the 56th Battalion, Infantry Battalion, Batallón de Infantería. It's right there, and he's cruising around with them in a Mexican uniform at a Mexican military base. It's right there. And the reason why this is important is because Katarina Szulc is on Sean Ryan presenting a side of the drug war that's not even proven at all. She's with Julian Dory, whatever his name is. There's just so many, and they all know each other. And so, I start digging into this. So now your boy's coming out of pocket for private investigators in other countries. Not so much because I'm going to profit off it. I'm not asking you for a penny, and I'm not monetizing my videos. There's no, what was that stuff Johnny Mitchell put me on? I was on the Connect. Patreon, or Sean Ryan's Patreon. I don't do any of that bullshit. And the reason why is because I just want people to know what's true and what's going on with my thing. And not only that, given people's lack of attention, their short attention spans, I don't want to go off and get into a long diatribe about things that people aren't going to give a crap about in a couple months anyways. But I do think that we should care whether or not we're being told the truth, because people formulate political opinions which put people in the political office, which affects our American policy towards other nations and ourselves here at home. And I think that that's important. And not only that, I have basically been politically apathetic my entire life because I don't want to get or involve myself in anybody's business, right? The whole live and let live type trip. But it is curious to me why someone that graduates school in 2021, Katarina Szulc, gets his job at Vancouver City News, then goes on to get a job at the Canadian version of CNN, and then leaves it suddenly just a year later. And she's writing stories on Substack at the same time. You can look it up in 2025, right? I'm going someplace with this. Doing stories on wildfires in Canada and doing stories on Canadian sheriffs or whatever, what have you. But all of a sudden, less than a year later, this is 2025, she's publishing this on Substack, right? We're not even to 2026 yet, and she is a premier expert in a country she's never been in professionally that I've ever seen, no work visa or anything, not vinculado or linked in any way to any professional Mexican news agency, or even out on patrol like this guy is with the Mexican military, or like the other lady is, Natalia from Australian Broadcasting Corporation, where she's out with the municipal police, but she's sitting there playing hide and seek in these sanatoriums or whatever, or hotel rooms with these low-level Mexicans and not even proving who they are. And it seems a little bit theatrical if you ask me. And if I'm wrong, I would love for them to sue me so I can get discovery and figure it out, because you can bet I would be publishing that in a heartbeat, right? I don't like these people. Andy Stumpf, Vincent Vargas, I don't like you, and I know that you don't care, but I'm going to make it public. I don't like you, and the reason why is because if I were to come out and make a video on what it's like to be a Navy SEAL, or if I were to come out and make a video on what it's like to be Green Beret or Delta, not having any personal skin in the game, I am a 1,000% certain both of you guys would have an opinion on it. But here you are sticking a Canadian over on mine and Ed's side of the border in our war, sitting there acting like you're some type of definitive expert on it so you can make a few bucks off it. You know, I'm gonna say something about it. I would love for either one of you guys, and I'm not in it for the views. I've got like 600 subscribers. I know all my subscribers. I don't know them all, but I know a bunch of them. They know me in real life, a lot of them. And I'm here just putting this out there for the American public, because that's what it is. You send a 21 or 22-year-old Canadian down to Mexico, you pay her a few bucks to go hang out in a hotel room in Sinaloa somewhere, acting like she's in the middle of all this shit, and she's coming back, and yeah, she's cute, got a nice smile and all that stuff. Julian Dory, whatever, is all infatuated with her. They've got their little romance thing going on. There's so much bullshit going on out there in YouTube land that at some point someone just has to say, whoa. My case, I was wrong about Ed, man. There's no fault in that. I want to chase things down and validate. Trust but verify. Validate people are who they say they are. Vince and Andy Stump here seem to think that they're experts in a war that they've never fought in. And that would be like me telling you what it's like going through buds. You don't see me making any videos on what it's like to be in the American military, because I couldn't tell you, because I wasn't there and didn't do it. And I submit to you that Andy and Vince and Katarina all know less than dog shit about the cartel war. And that they do this every day to profit off of it, which, good for them. There's nothing wrong with making a profit, but there should be some type of proclamation that this is for entertainment purposes only. Unlike this gentleman that's actually with the 56th Infantry Battalion in Mexico doing his thing. Or unlike the Natalia lady, she's a Filipina at the Australian Broadcasting Corporation, that is on a truck with the municipal police out on patrol. Not with a bunch of people wearing a balaclava in a hotel room somewhere pretending like there's something they're not. Okay? And if Katarina Szulc and any of these grifting guys want to shut me up, just put a picture of them like Sean Penn was with Chapo in front of a bunch of cartels with a bunch of armed people, because I'll tell you this, no country in the world is more violent towards journalists than Mexico. If you want to die. go become a journalist in Mexico. And so it's crazy to me that she says that she has all this unprecedented access to these cartels. It can only mean one of two things. She's either making it up or she's a cartel propaganda person. Either one of them wouldn't be good, because there's no way a cartel is going to risk their billion-dollar operation in another country showing some cute little chick barely out of college their operation so they can sit there and put at risk their entire corporation, which it is a corporation that's geared around solely generating profit or capital. Okay? So that's what I have to say about that. I've got some irons in the fire right now. I don't really want to say what I'm doing, but I've got some private investigators in another country. One of them in particular, the other one I'm looking into. One's an English-speaking country, and the other's a Spanish-speaking country. And I want to know what the deal is. So, hey, that's enough out of me for the day. I haven't posted anything in a couple days. Ed and Eddie, nothing but class, man. Thank you. Thanks again, guys. That's really cool of you. I'll have something down your way over there in Hemet and just shortly. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Yes, baby. Woo! Yes. Good morning, everybody. Yes. That's right. Woo! Yes, good morning. Let's get to it.